Okay, our lineup is as follows. Supervisor Solis, Dr. Montu Davis, Health Officer with the LA County Department of Public Health, Deputy Fire Chief Derek J. Chapman with LA County Fire, Fire Captain Aaron Catton, LA County Fire, and Kevin McGowan, Director with the LA County Office of Emergency Management.
Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. I'm Hilda Solis, Chair of Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors and representing the 1st District where you are here today. We're here today at Our Lady of Victory in Union Pacific, the community of East Los Angeles, at the heart of the area most impacted by this fire. Today's marks the 6th day of the Boyle Heights Fire at the Lineage Logistics Cold Storage Facility, also known as Los Palos Incident. For 6 days, residents have lived with uncertainty, disruption, and concerns about their health, safety, and livelihood. That's why we're here today. We're here today because residents need support, they need resources, and they need to know that Los Angeles County is standing right by them. I also want residents to know that while we're hosting this resource fair here today, my office has been working around the clock with many of the individuals that are standing here behind me since this fire began, which was last Wednesday. On Friday, during the Juneteenth holiday, my staff was in the field throughout the Union Pacific community, distributing masks and providing health and safety information and speaking directly to residents about their concerns and immediate needs. And it was through those conversations that we heard firsthand the urgent need for a place where residents could find relief from smoke because of the poor air quality. And in response, I directed county emergency personnel to work alongside with the Red Cross on a 24/7 smoke respite shelter at City Terrace Park that same evening. That facility became open at 11 p.m. at night on Friday. In addition to offering respite from the smoke, it has become a vital resource center where residents can access masks, food boxes, bottled water, and other essential support services, including air purifiers. In addition to that, health screening through a mobile unit that I asked our County Department of Health Services to deploy. And I want to thank them because they were there immediately, and many of our residents were utilizing those resources. On Saturday, my staff continued canvassing around this area throughout the day and into the evening, delivering air purifiers directly to residents in the Union Pacific area, particularly to older adults, to seniors, and individuals with respiratory illnesses and others with health conditions that place them at greater risk because of that smoke exposure. Staff at my East Los Angeles field office are also working now and work throughout the weekend to answer calls, connect residents with resources, and to respond to any needs that people had. And today, our team is once again in the field conducting outreach. So while we're here manning this particular resource center, we have other volunteers and staff out in the field, as well as at the City Terrace site. And they're also delivering supplies, air filters, and air purifiers. And I'm proud that our team overall, thus far, we have distributed over 10,000 masks to East Los Angeles residents and over 300 air purifiers to homes adjacent to the impacted area. This work is happening alongside a broad county response team. And as I said, many of them are standing behind me, and many of them are here today to provide resources for this community. I want to say that the Department of Public Health has issued health guidance to help residents protect themselves and their families. The Department of Mental Health has provided behavioral health and support for residents experiencing stress and anxiety. The Department of Public Social Services has connected families to emergency assistance and to public benefits that they are entitled to. The Office of Emergency Management coordinated free Uber transportation to county and city shelters in the 2.5-mile radius of this particular fire. And the Los Angeles County Fire Department has provided technical assistance and mutual aid support throughout this emergency. And while these efforts have, I believe, made a difference, it's far from over. We have much more work to do. And that's why we've launched today's resource fair. We want residents in this community to receive help where they live. where they need it the most, right in their neighborhoods. And today we're providing food boxes, protective masks, bottled waters, and yes, of course, air purifiers. The demand for these resources, as you must know, especially the purifiers, remains very high. And I want to make an appeal. If people want to make donations, they can contact our Office of Emergency Management or contact my office because they are in short supply. I want to say that in this community here where we're standing, it's very hardworking immigrant families working so hard and not really maybe noticing all the environmental burdens that have been placed upon them and their families. But it's not strange to this community as well. Not too far from here is Exide, where many of these same families have impacted by bad contaminants in the ground, the water, but also in the air. Many families, as you know too, are distressed. They face economic challenges, many because of the recent ICE raids, many because they have lost their jobs because of that, and many that are too afraid to go out and ask for assistance. That's why we're here today. They shouldn't have to face this crisis alone. That's why we're here standing with them, Los Angeles County, and all of our resource friends and our stakeholders. As chair of the Board of Supervisors, I'm committed not only to this emergency response, but also to the long-term recovery that is going to be required. That's why on Saturday, in conjunction with the City of Los Angeles, I proclaimed a local emergency related to this incident. And I'd like to point it out to you right here. This was issued on Saturday, and it was sent up to the governor and to the appropriate agencies there. For some reason, I think it's lost on people that LA County was somehow absent in that. But I could tell you nothing was further from the truth. We had our OEM, our county council, and all prospective agencies engaged in this. We know that every minute counts. And that's why on Saturday we coordinated with the City of Los Angeles to proclaim a local emergency. And I am very grateful to Governor Gavin Newsom for swiftly issuing the state emergency declaration later that same evening on Saturday. These declarations, let me be clear, will help us access additional resources to accelerate our response, our efforts, and move critical assistance into these impacted areas that go far beyond just Boyle Heights, but also are impacting some of our San Gabriel areas and the South LA communities as well. Tomorrow, on Tuesday, the Board of Supervisors will officially ratify the local emergency declaration and consider additional actions to help strengthen and streamline county recovery efforts. But let me be clear, accountability does matter. And we'll work to ensure that all responsible parties are held accountable and that the health and safety and well-being of this community remain at center of every decision as we move forward. Protecting these residents remains my highest priority, as well as the County of Los Angeles. And that includes our older adults, their children, grandchildren, people with respiratory conditions, people with disabilities, outdoor workers, and everyone who is vulnerable that may be impacted by the poor air quality. For residents who need assistance, I would urge you to call 211. And I know that we have had calls coming into our East Los Angeles field office, and our team is responding as quickly as possible, but you know we are being inundated. This is a major crisis that we're facing, so please be patient. We will get back to you. And again, if it is an emergency, 911. You can also call 311 for any medical emergency. But if not, last resort to, call 211 and see how we can best serve your needs. We are prioritizing, just so I can underscore that, the greatest of those individuals in need, particularly those seeking purifiers that have also health-related factors that must be urgently addressed. And I want to close with this. The people of Union Pacific and East Los Angeles are much more resilient than I am because they've had to weather so much in the past few decades and even as 6 days ago. And here we are again, trying to address these issues. It's my commitment that the county will continue to stand alongside this community through this emergency response and through the recovery process, and for as long as it takes. And believe me, we will do whatever we can to assist our residents. Ahora, brevemente en español. Buenas tardes. Estamos aquí en Union Pacific, una de las comunidades más afectadas por este incendio. Por 6 días, muchas familias han vivido con preocupación por su salud y seguridad. Por eso estamos aquí hoy día. Estamos aquí para ayudar a darles en el condado ese apoyo que necesitan todos. Desde el primer día mi oficina ha estado trabajando todos los días para apoyar esta comunidad, especialmente los inmigrantes que solamente muchos nomás hablan español. El viernes mi equipo estuvo repartiendo máscaras, dando información de salud y hablando directamente con los residentes. Después de escuchar las voces de la comunidad, trabajamos con la Cruz Roja para abrir un refugio en el parque de City Terrace. El refugio está abierto 20 horas y ofrece un lugar seguro para descansar y protegerse. Y hay personas que hablan español e inglés que están ahí. También ofrece mascarillas, comida, agua, filtros del aire y otros recursos importantes para esta comunidad. El sábado, mi equipo siguió visitando hogares y entregando purificadores de aire, especialmente a las personas de mayor edad y personas que tienen problemas para respirar. Y hoy seguimos ayudando a estas familias. Hasta ahora hemos repartido más que 10,000 máscaras y 300 purificadores. Ahora también vamos a distribuir más filtros. Por eso también estamos realizando esta feria de recursos. Tenemos muchos departamentos de parte del condado que están aquí hoy día para ofrecer mucha información, servicios importantes para esta comunidad. Van a dar cajas de comida, mascarillas, agua y purificadores de aire. Si usted necesita más ayuda, por favor, siga llamando a nosotros, nuestras oficinas. Hablan 211, también 311 si necesitan más. Y espero que nosotros podamos seguir luchando. Pero también quiero dar las gracias al gobernador Gavin Newsom, que nos ayudó a declarar una emergencia estatal. Aquí está enfrente para todos que puedan mirar que el condado está al lado de esta comunidad. Esto no nos va a ayudar para recoger recursos, ayuda para esta comunidad. También quiero ser muy claramente, vamos a buscar respuestas y responsabilidad de los responsables. La salud y seguridad de los residentes sigue siendo nuestra prioridad. Y quiero decir, llama a mi oficina. Si no contestamos inmediatamente, por favor, deja su mensaje. Estamos revisando todas las llamadas. Quiero terminar con esto. La comunidad Union Pacific y el este de Los Ángeles es fuerte. Y mi compromiso es seguir trabajando con ustedes, para ustedes, durante esta emergencia y la recuperación. Espero que mucho más nos siga y que tenemos el apoyo de la comunidad. Con eso, with that, I am proud to introduce our next guest speaker, Dr. Montu Davis, our health officer representing Los Angeles County, to give us an important update. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Supervisor Solis, for all of your leadership in this. I also want to thank the staff who are here helping to provide resources and information to folks in need. Throughout this event, the real concern for us as public health has been around the smoke and the fine particles that are affecting the air, and that affects the air quality. And these fine particles in the smoke can cause irritation of the ears, nose, throat, and lungs, and for people who have existing heart and lung conditions can worsen those as well. So many people who are in these areas or are under this smoke or see it or smell it or are in an area where it's marked as unhealthy, per AQMD, they may be more sensitive if they're children, if they're pregnant, if they have underlying health conditions, or even for older adults. Now, people should follow the air quality advisories. Now, our advice comes from AQMD in terms of what they see, and then we put out guidance in relationship to that. And if there's any other advice or alert or guidance being provided by responding agencies, please follow that as well. So if you're under an air quality advisory and you smell smoke or you notice smoke and ash outside, we want you to take precautions to limit your exposure. And that can include spending more time indoors, where it's cleaner air, or going to the mall, or going to the movies, or going to the shelter. In either way, if you're experiencing that and you don't get relief at home, go somewhere else for a bit until the air clears. If you have an air purifier at home, that may be helpful as well in terms of improving the indoor air quality. But make sure your windows and doors are closed, especially in those conditions, so it keeps that outside air outside as much as possible. And avoiding or limiting physical activity outdoors, especially when you have smoke or if it's unhealthy, that is important to do as well when that's present. Now, for people who have to spend time outdoors in those conditions, we do recommend that they wear a well-fitting N95 or P100 mask to help reduce exposure. And again, this is if you're under the air quality advisory and or seeing smoke and ash, heavy smoke and ash outside. Now, anyone experiencing severe symptoms, as has been mentioned, or if it's worsening, please contact your provider to see if there's something that you need to do differently, or if that you need to be, in the ER for some reason. So this would include symptoms like difficulty breathing, chest pain, significant breathing distress. Please seek medical attention immediately. And again, for life-threatening symptoms, please call 911. Now, we'll continue monitoring what's happening with the air quality and updating our guidance. You'll probably get a new update today. But I will say that in general, you guys have seen this. Day by day, hour by hour, it changes. You may wake up one morning and see a bunch of smoke outside, and then in the afternoon or an hour or two later, it's not there. So really pay attention to where you are, what you're seeing and what you're feeling and how you feel when you're outside. Also, use AQMD's mobile map to see what the air quality is where you are, so you know what you may be exposed to or what you may do to limit your exposure. So please pay attention to those updates, and then we'll continue to update as the conditions progress and things evolve. Now I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Fire Chief Derek Chapman with the Los Angeles County Fire Department.
Thank you, Doctor. Good afternoon. I'm Derek Chapman, Deputy Fire Chief with the Los Angeles County Fire Department. Our guiding North Star has always been and remains the safety and well-being of the community we serve. We are here today because we know how unsettling incidents like this can be for the family and the businesses in the immediate area. We are working in seamless partnership with the Los Angeles City Fire Department, and I want to acknowledge Fire Chief Jamie Moores and his team for their tireless work on the front lines to bring this incident under control. Since this incident has begun, our primary objective has been the protection of public health. Members of our Health Hazardous Materials Division are currently on the ground working in close partnership with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health and the South Coast AQMD. We are conducting continuous, comprehensive air sampling to ensure we have precise picture of the environment. While the current readings remain within safe limits, we understand that you may still have concerns. I'd like to lean on the recommendations by the Department of Public Health, which you just heard, for those mitigating things that you can do to protect your health. Emergency response is a collective effort. As the Cal OES Region 1 coordinator, my team has been working around the clock to bring in help from around the region. We have successfully coordinated mutual aid resources from San Luis Obispo all the way down to Orange County. This is not just about personnel. It's about ensuring that we have the right equipment and the expertise to protect this community effectively. I want to sincerely acknowledge the team at Cal OES for their partnership. Their support has been instrumental in ensuring that these resources reach the incident site quickly and efficiently to bolster our efforts. We are committed to keeping you informed every step of the way. Your safety is our mission, and your fire department will remain on site until we are certain that this community is secure. And now I'd like to bring up my partner, Fire Captain Aaron Caton.
Good afternoon. They told me that I'm giving the fire department comments in Spanish, así que vamos. Buenas tardes, soy el capitán Aaron Catón del Departamento de Bomberos del Condado de Los Ángeles. Y como representante de vuestro Departamento de Bomberos, quiero asegurarles que nuestra prioridad principal es y siempre ha sido el bienestar de la comunidad. Estamos trabajando hombro con hombro y en perfecta coordinación con el jefe Jaime Moore y su departamento de bomberos de la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Y vamos a mantener el incidente bajo control lo antes posible. Como he dicho, la protección de la salud de la pública es nuestro objetivo principal. Hemos hecho monitorización atmosférica continua y aunque los muestreos de la calidad de aire se mantienen dentro de los límites seguros, sugerimos a la población que priorice a su salud. Si están en la trayectoria del humo, permanezcan interiores, con el aire acondicionado en modo recirculación. Y si es imprescindible salir al exterior, utilicen una mascarilla N95 bien ajustada al rostro, sin dejar huecos, que es muy importante. La respuesta a una emergencia como esta requiere un esfuerzo colectivo. A través de Cal-OIS, de la que somos coordinadores de la región número 1, hemos activado los recursos de ayuda mutua, desde San Luis Obispo hasta el condado de Orange, movilizando no solo personal, sino también el equipo especializado para proteger eficazmente a esta comunidad. No nos descansaremos y les aseguro personalmente que no nos descansaremos hasta que este incendio esté bajo control y que la zona esté completamente segura. Gracias. Y ahora le voy a presentar a Kevin McGowan, parte de la Oficina de Emergencia de Management. Kevin McGowan from the Office of Emergency Management. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Aaron. Good afternoon. Kevin McGowan. I'm the director with LA County's Office of Emergency Management. I want to thank Supervisor Solis and my partners for their leadership as we've continued to respond through this incident beginning on Wednesday. As you've heard from our previous speakers, the county's entire emergency organization mobilized at the onset of this incident, primarily through sending out emergency notifications through various tools to provide critical advisory messages to the immediate areas adjacent to the commercial structure. Following that, the county's emergency organization mobilized resources not only to respond directly to the site, but to also start prepping for contingency planning and then providing resources for affected areas. Continuing through this entire incident, we will provide as much needed information and resources as possible. I want to direct everyone to a couple of different tools that they can use to empower themselves. Contact 211. That's a great way to get information that's also available on the websites, but if you don't want to go to a website, 211 can navigate the information on the websites for you. alertla.org is the primary central information tool online to get information related to shelter locations, when resource fairs are going to be established. It also is a great way for you to sign up for emergency notifications. Fortunately, due to the hard work of the incident response team, we haven't had to expand any life-saving protective measures, but we are ready to do that at a moment's notice. So please register for our emergency notification systems. You can do that by visiting alertla.org. Lastly, I want to provide a big shout out to our Red Cross partners for their immediate response. In partnership with the county, our Parks and Recs Department, our Department of Public Social Services, who stood up the shelter, as Supervisor Solis mentioned, early on Friday, all the way through Friday night. And it remains open and providing great resources to our community members. I also want to bring everyone's attention to Uber. If you're within a 2.5-mile radius of the incident site, you can get free transportation via Uber to this site and then also the shelters. So as long as we're doing relief and resource sites, the Uber option will be available. There's instructions on the website, alertla.org, to access the Uber, or you can contact 211. And with that, it's my pleasure to reintroduce Supervisor Solis for closing.
Thank you. I noticed that our CEO is here. I want to acknowledge him, Joe Nikita. Thank you for helping us on this path. Some of you may not know, but earlier today we just actually went through our stages of the budget and we voted upon that. So that's why we had to have this event at this time. But I'm very honored and pleased that we have the full support of the county and my colleagues. The Board of Supervisors know how wrenching and how hard this is when there are tragic challenges that face our residents, and especially the most vulnerable. And all I can say is I'm so thankful and grateful we have a place here today. This particular church opened up their doors to allow us to be here, boots on the ground, right where the people live. and to have our county family and extended departments here, it really fills our heart. And you can see it in the residents that are outside waiting to receive masks, and hopefully they'll get an air purifier. And we're distributing these per household, not per just families, but per household, because we have limited supplies right now, and we hope to obtain more as resources become available. So with that, I will try to answer questions, but I also have my expert witnesses here that can also help testify.
Supervisora, usted habla de que son 300 purificadores de aire, pero son miles de familias las afectadas.
Que ya fuimos a las casas para darlos. Hay muchos más que tenemos.
¿Cuándo se les va a dar respuesta?
En estos días ahorita lo estamos haciendo, no solamente aquí hoy día, esto va a ser casi más que 300 aquí hoy día, y también algunos en City Terrace, también tienen números también de los aire filters que tenemos aquí. Pero ahorita estamos esperando otros equipos que nos ayudan a darnos, directándolos aquí en estas áreas.
Supervisor Solis, I know you spoke a bit on the accountability piece of this. What does accountability look like to you when it comes to this investigation and holding the people responsible for this?
Well, tomorrow we'll be introducing a motion, I will, that will direct our county authorities and our CEO to begin that process. We're no strangers to these kinds of events, unfortunately. We had an oil spill about almost 3 weeks ago here. And we're going through that same step process: investigations, accountability, making sure that we can get all the appropriate information to make whatever path forward in terms of reparations, reimbursements, all of that. And I'm sure that will take its course, and the motion will be introduced tomorrow at our board meeting as we begin our process there. But it's something that we've been through before. And I have to say that many people have stepped up and also contributed. So I just want to say, please continue to do that. The need is so great. That's all I can tell you. Just in this impacted area alone, over 250 households that I know in just this adjacent area. I'm not talking about the Boyle Heights across the street from East LA and the adjacent cities and other unincorporated areas that surround us, as well as down south in Sella, Maywood, Cudahy, who are also being impacted. So this is a regional effort, and I want to underscore that, the importance. And that's why it's important to get the emergency declaration so that we can get those resources and get the funding that is necessary to bring more safety, equipment, personnel, whatever's needed, because this process is in different stages. And I know we didn't talk about that, but there's also more that has to happen at that particular site. But that's a question that I think our chief might be able to talk to.
Question. Two questions. One, you probably can answer. The second one, I'm not sure. The first one is, people are asking, how long are we talking about? What is happening right now in plain English? So people can understand. A lot of you understand that. People want to know what is being done and how long is this going to take?
Yes, of course. So I've been involved with the incident since its inception. I've been there every day, all through the weekend. So I feel like the LA City Fire Department, with mutual aid resources, have really turned the corner starting last night. This was a very difficult, very complex fire in the sense that this building is built like a cooler. So it has very, very thick foam on the roof, on the walls, and it's got 85 million pounds of perishable food. So access to this building has been very difficult. Normally, we will be able to open up the roof, let the fire free burn, let the materials burn off, which gives us clear access to what's burning. That's not the case with this building and this fire. So as of last night, LA City Fire Department has started to delayer the building, essentially deconstruct, pulling walls down, making access, allowing the hose streams to be effective in actually putting the fire out. They've tied in with a company from Texas to provide a water-producing appliance which applies 6,000 gallons of water per minute, which is allowing them to really get a foothold on this fire. As far as how long it's going to go, that's difficult to tell, but I can tell you from yesterday to today, a remarkable difference, and I expect that they will continue to make progress on this fire and get to its conclusion in the next few days.
And the second question, because then people are hearing that the level is safe, hearing all these things, yet we're all sitting under a huge cloud of smoke, of white smoke that doesn't smell. And everybody's being told to put on masks. As a matter of fact, these schools nearby, the schools were moved, the schools less than a mile away where the parents are telling me they're just as worried and smelling stuff. The health department, why don't we tell them?
Yeah, so I pretty clear just in terms of what the issue is has been smoke and fine particles. Nothing has come out in terms of, and I think City Fire talked about this earlier, just in terms of initially with the fire, ammonia tanks and ammonia going through there, they got all that out of the way. So really it's just been the materials that are burning and the smoke and the particles coming from that fire. Now, in a lot of instances, out of precaution, people will do things differently in terms of moving out. It just makes it a lot easier. For many of the schools, we gave advice, look, if you're under this advisory, it's unhealthy or, and you've got smoke and ash, move your things indoors. Close the windows. The same advice that we're giving to people is for schools as well. Now, out of an abundance of caution, they may do something more, and that's totally fine. It's that choice in terms of that. But we haven't had anything. It's really just the smoke and the fine particles, the air quality being unhealthy, and that's been the issue. Yeah, sure. So in thinking about air conditioners, you often have to look at the design of it. And so that's what you're talking about here is what we would often call a swamp cooler. It just means that it's pulling air from the outside in order to push it inside and be cool inside. But what that's doing is essentially taking the outside air that's poor quality and putting it inside. And so for those things, we don't want you to use those. Anything that pulls outdoor air in, don't use those. If you have a closed space and you're pulling outdoor air in, it's just compiling the air pollution inside of your home. If you have a central HVAC system, many of those are sort of closed or they may have a recirculate function. So it just recirculates the indoor air. Turn that on and run that. So it keeps moving the air through, but it's not pulling the poor air from outside into the home. So that's generally the advice to follow. You're trying to keep that indoor space as clean as possible, and you can use a central HVAC system with a filter that has high efficiency in terms of filtering out particles. You can use that as well. But anything like this or a fan that's in the window that's pulling air from the outside in, we don't want you to use that if you are seeing smoke and you're in poor air quality.
Really quickly, just to piggyback on something that Dr. Davis brought up as far as the upcoming heat wave, we'll be announcing our cooling centers, and they're also available on alertla.org. So you'll see communication coming out from the county related to when our cooling centers will be open and available to the public also. Thank you.
I have a question for Chief Chapman. Do you have a precise picture of tenure of ammoniac inside the warehouse or not?
I'm sorry, a direct picture or a clear picture of?
The chemical ammoniac.
Yes, so that was another concern which slowed the progress on the first day, which is the thousands of gallons of ammonia, which allows that refrigerant to keep the product cold. On the third day, they were able to offload all of that chemical and all of that ammonia. So right now, the hazardous chemical component of this fire has been mitigated. All the ammonia has been moved off-site.
So I didn't fully answer your question in terms of like it's getting hot. So Kevin just mentioned cooling centers, but again, what I said also was go out, go to the mall, go to the movie, go to a restaurant. So go to some other place that is cooler and probably has cleaner air if the case is it's going to be still too hot in your place.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate.
And then the supervisor mentioned a motion, so I'll make sure to share a press release, with all those details. Thank you all.